Industry codes of practice. Now what I would like you to do is to tell me your industry's code of practice and write it all down. If you're not working, pick one out. Pick out an industry and get their code of practice. And then what I want you to do is to write it down generally. Don't put in all the exact rules, but generally summarise it. I've given you an example here. Now this is the Australian Public Service Employees Code of Practice. And these are the steps that they have to do, and this is what the industry wants them to do. They must behave honestly and with integrity. They must act with care and diligence. That means they must put in an effort, be diligent in their work. They must treat everyone that they work with and everyone they come in contact with in their employment, they must treat everyone with respect and courtesy. I've spelt this wrong, I'm terribly sorry. I'll correct it. And they must treat everyone without harassment. They must obey the Australian laws within their employment, and they must comply with lawful and reasonable direction from their boss, from their superiors. Now, being the public service, they must maintain appropriate confidentiality. Some of them will be subject to listening and seeing very confidential information from ministers or from secretaries of departments. They must maintain appropriate confidentiality. Not only is it a code of practice, but it can be a legal requirement too. And the other things that they have to do, as you can see written up there, is they have to disclose or avoid, if possible, any conflict of interest. So if they've got some sort of interest in something that they're dealing with at work, some sort of private interest, then they must declare that. And even if their families have it, or their friends, they must declare it. And they must use Commonwealth resources in a proper manner. It's public money, so they must use those resources in a proper manner, including everything from the office furniture to the company car to the computers and technology. In fact, it's a sackable offence in all our organisations in Australia if you use your computer for wrong things, especially for risque jokes or pornography. You're not to provide false or misleading information to anyone in the course of your duty. This could have disastrous effects if you tell people the wrong things, especially in the public service. And you're not to make any improper use of any inside information in the course of your duty for any advantage or any benefit. So you can't use any information against somebody else or your colleague because you want some sort of a promotion. You must always uphold the values and the good reputation of the Australian public service. Even when you're overseas, you must respect all the different cultures and maintain the good reputation of the Australian public service. So that's an example of an industry code of practice. As I said at the start, I would like you to tell me your code of practice, your industry's code of practice, and briefly summarise it. If you're not working, pick an industry out and look up their code of practice.